Carlo was a rooster, but he was not just any rooster. He lived on a sunny farm with green fields and a red barn. Carlo was very handsome, with bright feathers in shades of red, gold, and green that shone brilliantly. His proud red comb and bright, keen eyes watched everything around him. Carlo was a very curious bird. Every morning, Carlo did his job. He would fly to the top of the fence post, puff out his chest, and crow, "Cock-a-doodle-doo." His crow was loud and strong, telling everyone, "Wake up, the sun is here." The cows would moo, the sheep would baa, and the farmer would stretch and yawn. Carlo felt important, like the farm's alarm clock. He did his job very well indeed. But Carlo was different. He had a secret. He loved sounds, not just farm sounds, but the wind in the trees, the rain on the roof, and the farmer's wife humming soft, sweet tunes. Carlo would tilt his head and listen very carefully. These sounds made him feel something new, something warm and gentle inside his feathery chest. He longed for something more than just crowing. His cock-a-doodle-doo was good, strong, and useful, but it did not feel like the music he sometimes heard, the music that danced in the air. Carlo watched the little birds singing pretty songs and wondered if a rooster could sing. Could a rooster make beautiful music too? This thought stayed with him. One sunny afternoon, a new sound came. It floated from the farmhouse window. The farmer's wife had a little radio, and it played music. This music was different. It was slow and very beautiful. A lady was singing, her voice high and clear, going up and up like a bird flying. Carlo stood very still. He had never heard anything like it. It made his heart feel full. The song was called Ave Maria. Carlo did not know the name then. He only knew the feeling. It was a feeling of peace and wonder. The melody wrapped around him like a soft, warm blanket. The notes were so pure they seemed to shine in the air. Carlo closed his eyes and let the music wash over him. He wanted to hold on to that feeling. That night, Carlo dreamed. He dreamed of the beautiful song. In his dream, he was not crowing, he was singing Ave Maria. His voice was clear and lovely, soaring just like the lady's voice. He felt so happy in his dream, light and free. When he woke up, the dream stayed with him. The melody played in his head and he knew he had to try. His first attempts were quite funny. He would take a deep breath, puff out his chest, but out came Cock-a-doodle Maria. It was still a crow, a very confused crow. It was not the gentle song he loved. The other chickens looked puzzled and the ducks quacked in surprise. Carlo felt a little bit silly, but the dream was strong and the music was stronger. Carlo did not give up. Oh no, not Carlo. He was a determined rooster. He practiced every day, finding a quiet spot behind the big oak tree or near the babbling brook. He listened to the memory of the song, trying to make his voice soft and high. It was very hard for a rooster whose voice was made for crowing, not for gentle singing. The other farm animals noticed. Daisy the cow would stop chewing and look at Carlo with big round eyes, as if to ask, "Moo, what is that strange sound?" The sheep, Fluffy and Bartholomew, would giggle. Their baha has not unkind, but enough to make Carlo's cheeks feel warm. Even Percy the pig would lift his snout and snort with curiosity. Carlo wished they understood. Carlo felt a little sad sometimes. His song did not sound right. It was not like the lady on the radio or the song in his dream. He tried puffing his chest less, holding his head differently, and making his cock-a-doodle-doo long and wavy. But it just sounded like a wobbly crow. He sighed a big rooster sigh. This was much harder than he thought. Still, he kept trying. He loved the melody too much. The thought of singing Ave Maria beautifully filled his heart with hope. He imagined the notes floating and peace spreading across the farm. He just needed to find the right way to make his rooster voice sing that beautiful, gentle song. He would not be beaten. Not yet. Days turned into weeks. Carlo practiced and practiced, but his Ave Maria still sounded like a rooster trying very hard, a rooster failing just a little. Doubts began to creep into his mind, like little gray clouds. Was he being silly? Could a rooster truly sing such a song? Maybe roosters were only meant to crow loudly and clearly in the morning. The other animals sometimes made comments. "Carlo's trying to be an opera singer," clucked Henrietta Hen. "He sounds like a rusty gate," quacked Donald Duck. They did not mean to be cruel. Most of them were just puzzled. But their words pricked Carlo's heart like tiny thorns. He started to practice in secret more often, where no one could hear his struggles, where no one could laugh. One afternoon he saw the farmer's children playing in the yard. They were singing a little song. Their voices were not perfect, not at all. One child sang too loud, the other sang off key, but they were laughing, their faces full of joy. They were singing with all their hearts. Carlo watched them, feeling a strange mix of sadness and longing. They were happy with their imperfect song. Why couldn't he be happy? He wanted to sing Ave Maria so badly, to make it beautiful, for others to feel the peace he felt. But maybe his voice was not made for beauty. Maybe he should just stick to crowing. A deep sigh escaped him. He looked up at the sky, wishing for someone to understand, for a little bit of help, a little bit of guidance. Section 5. Leon the Nightingale, a beacon of hope in the twilight. One evening, as dusk settled, Carlo felt very low. He sat under the old willow tree. His bright feathers drooped a little. He let out a soft, sad little croak. It was meant to be a note from Ave Maria, but it sounded more like a hiccup. Suddenly, a beautiful sound filled the air. It was a melody so pure, so clear. It came from the branches above him. It was Leon, the nightingale. Leon was famous on the farm and in the woods beyond. His song was magical. Everyone stopped to listen when Leon sang. His voice was like liquid silver. It danced and twirled. It told stories of the moon and stars. Carlo had always admired Leon. He had never dared to speak to him. Leon was a true singer. Carlo was just a clumsy rooster with a silly dream. But tonight, Carlo felt desperate. He took a deep breath. "Mr. Leon?" he called softly. The beautiful singing stopped. A small brown bird peered down. Leon had kind, intelligent eyes. "Yes," Leon chirped gently. Carlo's heart fluttered. I have a dream, Mr. Leon," Carlo stammered. I want to sing Ave Maria, but I am just a rooster, and I sound awful." Leon flew down to a lower branch. He looked at Carlo for a long moment. Carlo felt his feathers flush. He expected Leon to laugh or to fly away, but Leon did not laugh. He tilted his head. He saw the earnest look in Carlo's eyes. He heard the longing in Carlo's voice. Leon was a wise bird. He understood more than just songs. He understood hearts. Leon listened patiently. Carlo explained his dream. He told of the beautiful lady's voice. He even tried a little bit of his song, Cock-a-doodle Ave. He managed. It was wobbly. It was very rooster-like. Leon did not flinch. He simply nodded. When Carlo finished, silence hung in the air for a moment. Then Leon spoke. His voice was as gentle as his song. "Carlo," Leon said softly, "the beauty of a song does not come from sounding like someone else. It does not come only from perfect notes." Carlo looked puzzled. What else could it be? "True beauty in song," Leon continued, "comes from the heart. It comes from the sincerity of the singer. It comes from the love you put into it. Your voice is your own, Carlo. It is a rooster's voice, and that is good." Leon explained further. "Do not try to be a human, Carlo. Do not try to be a nightingale. Be a rooster who loves Ave Maria." Carlo had never thought of it that way. He had been so focused on changing his voice, on making it something it was not. "Sing the feelings the song gives you," Leon advised. "Sing your love for the morning sun. Sing your joy for the green fields. Sing your hope for peace on the farm. Use your own strong voice, Carlo," Leon chirped. "Let your cock-a-doodle-doo carry the feeling. Let it carry your heart. If you sing with sincerity, with all the love you have for the melody, then your song will be beautiful. It will be uniquely yours. It will touch others, not because it is perfect, but because it is real, because it is you." Carlo listened. Hope began to flutter in his chest again. Carlo thought about Leon's words all night. He did not sleep much. As the first light of dawn touched the sky, he felt different. He felt a new kind of courage. He flew to his usual fence post. He would try again. But this time, he would not try to be perfect. He would not try to hide his rooster sound. He would sing from his heart, as Leon had said. He took a deep breath. He thought of the beautiful melody of Ave Maria. He thought of the peace it brought him. He thought of his love for the farm, for the sleeping animals, for the rising sun. And then he sang, "Cock-a-doodle Ave Maria." It was still a rooster's crow. There was no mistaking that. But it was different. It was full of feeling. It was full of warmth. His crow song soared into the morning air. It was not high and delicate like the lady's voice. It was not intricate like Leon's song. It was robust. It was heartfelt. It was Carlo's Ave Maria. He poured all his longing, all his joy, all his rooster soul into it. He closed his eyes and just sang. He sang for the love of the song. He sang because his heart told him to. He felt good. He felt true. Slowly, the farm began to wake. The other animals heard Carlo's song. At first they were surprised. It was still Carlo. But something had changed. There was a new quality to his crowing. It was not just a wake-up call. It was musical in its own way. It was passionate. It was strangely moving. They stopped their usual morning grumbles. They listened, really listened. Carlo's new Ave Maria became a regular sound. Every morning he would sing it. His voice, still a rooster's, carried the melody. It carried the emotion he felt. The other animals grew accustomed to it, more than accustomed. They began to appreciate it. Daisy the cow would swish her tail gently. She found it quite soothing now. It was much better than his old wobbly attempts. The sheep, Fluffy and Bartholomew, no longer giggled. They would stand quietly. They would listen with a new respect. Even Percy the pig seemed to enjoy it. He would grunt softly in time with Carlo's song. The chickens would cluck approvingly. Carlo has found his voice, Henrietta Hen declared one morning, his very own special voice. And indeed he had. He was no longer trying to be someone else. The farmer and his wife noticed too. At first they were puzzled. "Is that rooster trying to sing?" the farmer asked. His wife smiled. "It sounds like he is," she replied. "And you know, it's rather sweet." They found his morning serenade endearing. It was unique. It was their Carlo. His song added a special charm to their farm. It made them smile every morning. Carlo felt a deep sense of joy, a quiet pride, not because he was a famous singer, not because he sounded perfect, but because he was singing his truth. He was sharing his love for the music, in his own way, and others were listening. They were understanding. He continued to crow his regular cock-a-doodle-doo to wake everyone, but his Ave Maria was his special gift. To the morning, to the farm, to himself. One fine summer day, a visitor came to the farm. She was a lady from the city. She was an artist. She had come to paint the beautiful countryside. The farmer's wife offered her tea in the garden. As dawn broke the next morning, Carlo flew to his post. He sang his heartfelt Ave Maria. His rooster notes, full of passion, filled the air. The artist lady paused, her teacup halfway to her lips. She listened carefully. A smile spread across her face. "What a remarkable sound," she exclaimed. The farmer's wife chuckled. "That's just Carlo, our rooster," she said. "He fancies himself a singer. He sings that tune every morning." The artist lady shook her head gently. "It is more than fancy," she said. "He sings with such sincerity, such raw emotion. It's truly beautiful. You see," the artist continued, looking towards Carlo, "perfection can often be cold. Something that is technically perfect might not touch the heart. But sincerity always warms the soul. That rooster," she pointed with her teaspoon, "sings with his entire being. He is not trying to be a nightingale. He is a rooster, singing a beautiful song in his own rooster way. And that is a wonderful thing. It is pure art." Carlo, of course, did not understand all her words, but he felt the kindness in her voice. He saw the smile on her face. He puffed his chest a little prouder. He knew he had found his way. He continued to greet each morning with his special song. His Ave Maria was a reminder that true beauty comes from being yourself, from sharing your heart, and from bravely following your dreams, no matter how unusual they may seem for a rooster.